From home to the world, that's what you're talking about today. And I tell you guys, every single Friday, pale jioni, ukiwa umechoka, umeboeka, wiki imekuwa sijui aje, you have to looking at CITAM Church Online. That is on YouTube, on Facebook pia, Instagram tuko pale, like, share, follow, subscribe, zote, comment, because we bring you good things. We bring you conversations that you love, and we love how you interact with us. So never touch that dial on Friday. Just eka pale what is it called, an alarm clock. Just say CITAM Church Online, Beyond Church Halls podcast. And today, I know you're fond of so many familiar faces. We are always the three musketeers. But today, I'm joined with amazing, beautiful, gorgeous, yani, you are lovely. My people have gone to the world. Okay, wameenda kutembea, wameenda kufanya vitu vingi hapa na pale. As you get to know, we get to do this with Keri Kagiri, who is away, and of course matters pertaining work, and of course Precious Call as well. But I'm not alone today. I'm joined by someone. Mic yangu iko sawa, inaomba kamera kwa upande huu kwenye
nilani hata tunaenda hiyo. Hi CEO, this is actually home. Kariro Laura is my name, and thanks for watching and listening.
Have you heard that voice? welcome.
UK accent.
Yeah.
Wait, sorry, I forgot. Mom couldn't be switch on accent.
Ebu, okay.
Try
Zex.
Cut the camera.
Twende kazi.
Hey, what's up?
Yo.
You know what's up, innit? I just came back to Kenya for some chapatis. I'm glad to be here. Thank
All right.
you. Yeah.
Karibu sana is on my far left. Najua umeona this face before.
Such a beautiful face.
Akiongea anaongeaga na kadecorum hapo kwa CITAM Church Online.
Yeah.
Anasema sijui nini, lakini leo we just
this is how you perceive me.
Yeah.
So today we want to
Guys, you know.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
Jesus.
I want to say my friends.
Oh my
Friends.
goodness.
So today we want to know what is beyond, over and beyond that cadecorum that you get to see. No, not scrutinize. Welcome to Beyond Church Halls podcast.
Thank you so much, Maria. Such a joy to be here with you guys. Really looking forward to this conversation.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm excited to see what is going to cook up.
All right. Nimesahau nakumbusha kwamba tuko pale TikTok. Utufollow hapo, enda ulike video zetu, repost, repost again, share kwa stories so that we can be together in this particular journey. So today sijui nitawadress aje.
Unafaa kwanza na drum rolls.
Haya, watu wangu wa ma-edits. At the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sababu nataka uniambie leo umekuwa wapi? First of all, welcome back.
Thank you.
When you left, what?
Ukiniona nikipinduka hivi. It's effects of jet lag.
But do you say
it can be quite heavy? You know.
It's quite heavy.
Niliwaletea King Charles by the way.
Alrighty.
Tulikujanisha actually. So yeah, I've been in the UK. I went to pursue my master's degree. It's been an intense year doing that. Also nikazoea baridi. So I know right now it's raining and it's cold and everything, but I'm not feeling cold.
Because it's not cold here.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been in the UK and I'm back home for a break, and I'm grateful. Yeah.
How long is a break so that I know how to misuse you?
I'll be here till like mid-January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tukikula githeri Januari uko na sisi.
Mimi githeri.
It's not your portion.
It's not her portion.
It's not her portion.
Chapati. Like I just miss home food. My mom was so sweet. I think she really just knows my heart. Because the day I came home, she made ugali, managu, and beef. Of which I love ugali, managu, and any nyama. Yani, I had missed that so much. Yeah. So I'm really enjoying Kenyan food. You can best believe.
No, right.
Yeah.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Huku tu tuliambiwa kuna El Nino.
Yeah.
Sijui kama iko ama hayuko.
Ini kama iko by the way, because it doesn't rain that heavily.
In our long while.
Yeah, that side. It doesn't rain at Tivo na Uzito. But Unaona ni kama wewe msiongee sana, wote tunaweza chajiwa 1 million.
#data protection.
So, okay, but then you came back and found out things have changed.
A few things have changed. I
Mm.
remember the drive back home with my brother. Thika Road is my side. So a few new buildings, a few new exits. Unajua Thika Road ukimiss exit
Ni
Ushaingia
hivyo.
kwingine.
unajipata
Umeenda Marsabit.
unajipata welcome to Addis Ababa. So a few new exits.
Yeah.
Kuna exit fulani pale Garden City that sikuacha.
Mm.
Then there's a new building somewhere in Roiro that I didn't leave. So just some of those small things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Others maybe I'll just think of randomly, but yeah.
Maybe
lot-
Pastor Linda.
I guess a long time and a short time at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we're talking about moving, coming back, changing and all that. Oh, when ni mzaliwa Nairobi?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, me, I was born in Nairobi. But I schooled outside Nairobi.
Okay.
Do you know when I was moving to class 5, which is now grade 5, I told my parents I want to go to a boarding school because all my friends in class 4 were not coming back to class 5. So I told them, guys, mi sijui mali mtatoa boarding school, mtaenda tu mi class 5 ikianza hivi, nijipate boarding school. Can you imagine? So my parents, I mean, they just went out of their way and they got a boarding school out of Nairobi. So that's the much I would say about relocating, but like going out of the country, not really. But yeah, that's ideally how I'd put my experience, you know. Although I'm very interested to know, now that Lau talked about missing food,
Yeah.
Kenyan food,
Yeah.
what I'm so curious to know, what is the culture there? Like what is their staple food? What do they eat? Somebody is telling me they eat cold food. I don't know that they also eat cold food.
They eat bland food, like
Bland
child
food.
food. Anyway, that's just like dissing them. High end. But as in the food is not. So even them when they come here, you would hear a Brit say that our food is too salty, but ideally it's too spicy for them because the food there is blank, like it's bland. I want to say bland, but there's taste. It's just that it's not the same for a palate like a Kenyan palate. Because you know, for us to kipika beef, whether it's the karoiko you do, or even just the way we kanga with garlic.
Yes.
Forget even like sprinkling other spices. Just the way we kanga with proper garlic, and we use
Ginger.
spices a lot more than them. So the food there is, of course, UK is fish and chips.
Oh,
That's a staple, like street food.
Oh, okay.
That's a staple street food. But other than that, waru. You guys think waru ni za Nyandarua? Mashed potatoes, fried potatoes,
Really?
potatoes in all shapes and kinds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a staple in the UK. And then rice and, you know, but yeah. And of course now a lot of junk foods, fast foods rather. But think of a fast food joint in Kenya. Go to the same one in the UK. It's not the same.
Oh, really?
It's not the same. Ours is better, but that's arguable. But just in terms of like the taste, there's more taste, there's more flavor.
Yeah.
So like I am overdoing it honestly because I'm enjoying eating food. But then again, when I went, I carried loads of Kenyan spices because I knew, hey, I have to.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
experience something more familiar. But I think the food itself is just different because it's differently grown. It's a different environment. So it doesn't have always the same taste. Also, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mimi kama kuna kitu miss, even where I stay right now, kuna motura kwa barabara. Like
Just
those
chakula
things.
mutura bado. Nikishika mutura.
Lazima ushike. Kwanza sasa venye tuko festive season.
Yes.
Ka
Let me
holiday
tell
hivi.
you.
Yeah. Na
Hey,
mahindi
ile siku
choma.
utashika. Hey, I'm already prepared. Like I can already even dream of that day. What?
Eka
I missed
timetable.
sana.
Hii time nakula hii, time nakula hii.
That's it.
But of course motura nitayagiza.
Oh, lazima. Oh,
Giza na moshi uchafu. You can just eat clean mutura.
That's something I missed.
Yeah, you
Our
can't
Kenyan,
eat clean
our small
mutura.
Kenyan cultures,
Yeah.
jokes. I
Yeah.
really missed that. Yeah.
But now that you're talking about moving, relocating and all that, change is inevitable, right? Maybe we can share on how our experiences were from the spaces that we knew or we were fond of, and then getting to the new spaces.
Right. Of course, now when you enter a new space, there's a lot of newness. So for example, uko unaweza kaa days kaujaosha viatu, streets are so clean.
Yeah.
You know, systems work, so the streets are cleaned. You know, of course the way the place looks is different. Baridi, even on what they call water is a hot day to them. Is our random. Actually, our cold day is their hot day on that side, because it gets quite cold. So a hot day is like 16 degrees. They're about 18 degrees. But before you get used to that, it's quite cold. So a lot is different. But I think for me, just out of personal experience, what I have found is that there are certain things that don't change at all. Life, I have coined a phrase since I went, that life is life everywhere. Because you think that, nikienda UK sitaisota, you know, I'll never see a homeless person, I'll never know struggle, those things are there. Life is life everywhere. So for example, let me speak about, let's say, like financial, how you handle your finances, right? So in the UK, of course, compared to Kenya, you will be able to make more because they have a minimum wage that's very functional. You'll be able to make more money compared to what a Kenyan doing the same job is making. However, the cost of living is like way higher there. So at the end of the day, whether you're in Kenya or in the UK, you need to learn to save, you need to learn to invest your money, you know. So those values, they don't change regardless of the environment. So I think that's one thing that I held on to, and I realized how important the values are, is because hata uende wapi, hata uanze kuongea na accent different, there are things that don't change. But those are the small things you change. You will hear people speaking in different ways. You will even have to adapt to speak to how they speak so that muelewane. People eat different food, things like that. You don't have anywhere to make your hair, you know. You learn to do it in your house, things like that.
Okay. Pastor Linda.
Interesting. You know, as you guys are speaking, or rather as we are talking, there's a very good friend of mine who relocated with her hubby and her children to Aussie, to Australia. And once in a while we get to just have a conversation and chat how is life out there. And the same thing Lau is saying about how life is expensive there is the same thing she also says. That according to her, or rather what she says is that rent and school fees, education is what is way, like the prices are just off the roof.
It's
just, you know, completely. And one thing that I also pick from her is how, like what she's saying, systems tend to work. Aki, this government of Kenya.
Have a long way to go.
Very long way.
Really, really long way to go. Did I catch your thought?
It's
short?
okay, just continue.
Because you see now, like, if our systems are working, we are so privileged in so many ways already as it is. If only our systems were working. So we need to tighten some knots. Because when you say like life is expensive, to give you a practical example, I was living in a single room. In an apartment where you have your single room, self-contained, but you're sharing a common space, a common kitchen, common living area. That single room, I was paying for it an equivalent of 150,000 a month.
Single room.
Yes.
Watu wa Duberi na bedsitters.
One bedroom is 215k upwards. If you're translating it to Kenya shillings. So you can't even do that because it's unreasonable. Also, why is because if you're earning in pounds, you can make it work. But as in when you translate the amount, how much it costs you to live in the UK, to have housing, it's mad expensive. And in as much as you're in a place where systems work, that housing is a basic need. People shouldn't be having to pay that much to have a roof over their heads. But you know,
I agree. And you know, there's also a friend of mine I was chatting with, but now they stay here in Kenya. And they were talking about the real estate environment at the moment, that because of when you look at the rate of the dollar, the way it has really shot up. And just recently we were talking with Lau about how the pound also, I mean, you can't compare right now the dollar with the pound. It's just crazy. So this guy was saying that many people right now are going for 1 bedroom 2 bedroom houses because there's no competition in the market for a plot of land or a house that will probably go for millions. You have the buyer who has the say, as opposed to then like 10 years or 5 years ago, when you'd have like 10 people or more than 10 people going for that particular estate. But right now, the buyer is on to tell you, this is how much I want to buy it for, And so I think with this story of, I'm seeing what I hear us talking about is, it's not just in Kenya, it's global. All these things are, it's a huge global shift. And at some point I'm even seeing, are things really going to get better? What do you guys think?
Hey, Mimi, I'm choosing to be a bit hopeful about it, that it will get better. Only that, just being realistic, it will take time to get there. But I think, I'm hoping that while I live, I'll see better days. I don't want to believe that itakuwa tu hivi. But also, God is the God of the economy. Everything, it's all His. So even if it gets worse, personally, I don't plan to be worse. I don't plan to be worse, and also I just have so much faith I'll be okay. But just speaking realistically, because these are the realities of the lives we live. In as much as nasema nitakuwa poa, ni hard. Things are hard. I'm just praying that while we live, we will witness better days in our country. Because to be honest, it's not. Yes, we have our governance issues, but it's a global thing, and now the shock is just being felt because globally things are really, really bad. Like right now, even the Prime Minister of the UK has increased visa charges almost by twice the amount because that's how they're trying to bridge the cost of living gap. So they're like, okay, you guys, you immigrants, if you wanna come to a country, you just have to pay us more.
So things have changed, and even as we're getting to talk about change, the way you're saying, people have an expectation that Lai is going to the UK, so she's going to have money. From Nakuru, people thought you're going to Nairobi, you're going to have money. So everyone is having your phone on speed dial, just in case they sort of in between the month, they know who to call. But that's not the perception. And today we just want to talk to us who are in this particular age of millennials and are thinking that once I get to the UK, I'll make it. Once I get to Nairobi, nitakuwa bola. Once nikitoka ushago huko napenda Shamaho sasa. I think I need to visit a place. I don't know where Shamaho is, by the way, but I need to visit. But somebody coming to Nairobi, there's that's a good hope, but then there's an expectation of I'm going to make more money. Is it the same case?
It is. I get where that comes from. It's because generally whether it's Nairobi or Cape Town or UK, there's something that makes you feel I'll do better when I get there, and that something is likely just the fact that it's a land of more opportunities and greener pastures. So I get that, but to be very honest with you, if you do not have your values in check before you make that move, there's nothing Nairobi will do for you, nothing UK will do for you if you're not a grounded person. I promise you. And I've seen, now being there, you see different kinds of situations. People get there and get lost in what the culture there is different. The church
How is their culture?
The church is there. But like, the church is just one of many other things. It's not a commanding body as it is, let's say, like in Kenya. So there's so many other cultures. So like homosexuality it's normal.
It's kawaida.
It's not even, you're just walking the streets and you see, you're not sure, is this a guy? Is this a, you know what? I don't even want to know. You can't tell if it's a guy. It's so normal. How people dress, how people behave around each other. Like in the UK, for example, there's so much smoking. It's in the culture. They smoke a lot. Drinking, people say, Nairobi drinking culture, guys.
It's worse.
It's an everywhere thing. As
Lord.
long as you're in a big kind of world city or something. So it's just that now, like, there's certain powers or systems that control the culture of a place. And now we're at, for example, if you go to Dubai, it is a culture that is controlled, or rather, I don't want to say control because it sounds even negative, but like it's the underbelly of the culture is the Muslim
Arab.
and Arabic, whatever. So their religion is the underbelly of their culture, for example. So it's in how they dress. It's in how they. So you can't even you can't enter a mall in there with a miniskirt.
Yes.
It'll cover you.
Yes.
You know. So the same way, like even Kenya for us, I think Christianity is a big part of the underbelly of our culture. But back there, the underbelly of the culture is individuality. I do what I want, and I should be accepted for who I am. So I identify as a child. I identify as a cat. I identify as a smoker. I identify as, you know, I don't want to go to college. I don't want to
Yeah.
And so it's a world where like there's a high sense of you have to respect someone's choices, regardless of whether you agree with them or not. In a big sense, it humbles you, not to also think you're God over how people should live their lives, but then it also shows you the value of grounding, because it's so easy to get soaked up in someone else's culture because it looks cool and everything in there. So there's no like strong one thing foundation that's holding things together. It's all just me, individuality. There's so many religions, there's so many ways of dressing, ways of doing things, considering it's also cosmopolitan, so there are people from so many parts of the world in there. So it's quite a lot in there. It's quite a lot to consume. You really have to be measured.
Uko wezi chuna mtoto wa jirani.
My friend, hata mtoto wako.
Or even your own child.
You cannot.
Yeah.
You cannot even shout at your child. They can call authorities on you.
So how do you discipline your child?
Your child, you're grounded.
You talk to them.
How do you reason with a child? So the parent is supposed
Talk
to
to
reason
them.
with the child?
You talk to them. If a neighbor reports that you are beating a child, child protection come for the child, and then you're taken to court or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. Pastor Linda, what did you miss when you went to boarding school?
What did I miss? Oh, wow. I definitely missed just my parents, because I'm also a firstborn. So I bonded a lot with my parents when I was in lower primary. That's class 1 to from class 4 below. But now when I moved to upper primary is when I was like, I remember I used to write letters. At least in that school used to be allowed to call our parents, you know, and just find out how they were doing. But I think also, to be honest, I missed that bit of socializing with people who are my peers.
Okay.
You know, like I normally once in a while I meet people who say, I've known this person since we were young, or we used to stay in the same estate, or they used to study together in school, and because of that they used to hang out even during the weekends. But I never really had that for myself when I was in that stage of my life. And I think I also missed out on a couple of, you know, church activities and other things that my peers used to do within that time. So that's what I'd say I really, really missed. Because then I joined boarding school in when I was 10 years old. And then all the way to high school, until I finished high school, I was in boarding the whole time. Okay, it gave me a sense of responsibility. To be honest, by the way, I really enjoyed boarding school, actually. But after I finished, and then I joined campus, then I realized, okay, there's a world outside here where people actually socialize, they meet after classes, or they meet during the weekend and they bond and things like that. So that's what I'd say I really, really missed. Yeah.
Apart from food, what did you miss?
Without repeating, honestly, everything she said.
Really?
I missed my family. I missed my friends. I missed, you know, there are things we used to do. In my circle of friends, kulikuwa certain days we do game nights. So they are doing the game nights and then they're video calling. It's different, you know. Family functions. You know. Unfortunately, you miss even like really, you miss
Very
burials.
important.
You miss birthdays. You miss births. My friends have had kids. I come back, the kid is almost 1 year. So you wish you held that baby. You wish you bought that first kangaroo and everything. So I really missed that. I missed, I could see concerts are happening. Who is in Kenya? Blah, blah. And I'm like, I want to be there. You know? Things like that. It's not the same. I think the difference in the relationships is depth. Even if I make new friends there, it doesn't bear the depth I have with the friends
With the people
from home.
here.
Yeah.
I think I missed just fighting with my brothers a lot. There was
Yeah.
that.
Whether you never told us, have you ever relocated?
Mimi yani
From
kwenda
Nax-
nimeanza.
coming to when you had to come from Nax and like
Yes.
be away from home.
Of course, I came from Nakuru, came to school on Thika Road, and then after that I started working in Gigiri, then went to Meru.
What?
And I stayed in Meru for 4 years.
Wewe umetraverse.
Culture shock, brother. What? Huko akukwa chili. You know those venye unakulaga maembe alafu unaweka chili fulani kwa
Hakukuwa
maembe.
na chili
Katikati hakuna. It wasn't that sweet. There's like a chili that is very nice. Hata unaweka kwa mahindi. Mahindi kuzo katikati ya barabara was on and off, because it's ushago. Kila mtu ako na mahindi mtaani. And then you're saying about concerts. Meru, tuna need to improve. I used to come to Nairobi almost every other weekend because I really, really wanted to be part of a certain life.
Yeah.
There's a quiet life. Although Meru brought a lot of sanity for me.
The quietness,
there's a lot of quietness.
It's really sobering.
And people who really are mature. There's a mature people in Meru.
Yeah.
Banks are coming up, yes. That's what took me to Meru. So of course your peers, but most of them ni wa klabu. I backslid at some point actually. And nilichapa sherehe for some time and then karudi kidogo. And so for me, what I really missed about being close to where people are, there was a lot of very introverted people in Meru. A lot of I don't know if it's personality kila mahali, but you could get out of 10 introverts, there's just one sanguine or an extrovert. I really missed a lot of parties because I'm a sanguine. I'm out there. I really missed that, but it toned me down a bit. Made me save, made me invest, made me do a lot of things, made me grow in terms of personality, character, and career as well. And so coming back to Nairobi was a big blow. I wanted to come back to Nairobi in 2020. My bosses refused, then brought me back in 2022. So it was a beautiful experience. What I have understood now is I'm becoming more close to my parents, more in as much as in Nakuru. Like the other day I was doing a video on Instagram. My mom just sent me food, cooked food. Alipika chicken, akaweka vizuri, tuminji hapo, akatengeneza. And sent me food na 2NK. Nikaende tu kwa stage. And now my fridge is packed because during the week, sasa niko CITAM ChurchOnline usiku. You know, and so I really missed home. Really missed fighting. I now push fights here and there, but they don't happen because we are all mature, we are all grown up. You have your own room, this one has their own rooms and stuff like that. And that's why when we discussed about so many things, I really miss going home. I really miss going home. And as you guys have said, there's that depth that you get to have with the people who are around. Even if you make friends here, there's also that unaendaga home nasikia nani aliolewa, nani alioa. Chat za ushago unajua vile zinakuwa zimeshika. Sasa wewe umekuja uko CITAM. So I think, but also as we get to wind up, we say change is inevitable. One of the things we ought to embrace is change, and also be very versatile, so that you can also you can accommodate people, because you meet people, different cultures, different backgrounds. Someone has anger management, they are very short-tempered, and then maybe you're staying in the same room, you know, so you get to accommodate a lot of people in that space. But tell us your final remarks as we get to wind this up.
It's just to say that God is unchanging, and I read there's a verse that has become one of my favorites. I'm really bad at mastering the actual verse.
Okay.
But at least I remember what it says. Like I can't tell you it's this chapter, this verse, this, but it says, I, the Lord, do not change, so that you, the descendants of Israel, are not destroyed. Of course, it comes from that connotation of like you're sort of in danger, and God, who is unchanging, covers you. But whether you're in danger, whether you're facing change, whether you are in normalcy and life is just mundane and so casual, God is unchanging. So whatever season you're in, even if you're facing a major change, you could you could maybe not have faced the change of relocating, but you were single, now you're dating, or even another layer, you are now married, you didn't have a child, now you're a mother or a father, you had this, you didn't have, you had this job, now you don't have it. Whatever change you're facing, God is unchanging, and He will carry you through.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Excellent. For me, I'd say trust God through the process.
For
You
sure.
know, right now, I've related with quite a number of millennials who are saying that they want to relocate from Kenya or whatever country they're in, and I even know of some who have relocated from places like Zim. They've moved to the UK, or they moved abroad. Guys who are born and raised in Nigeria, they've moved to Canada. You know, but what I would say is, in as much as you're relocating to another country or you're moving to another country, whether it's because of work or because of school, or you're moving from city to city, it may not necessarily mean moving from country to country, but city to city. Trust God through the process. You know, I'm reminded of Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. You know, if it's God's will for you, which is for God's will for you to prosper and to be successful, then go with it, you know, and trust God through the process. It may be a new venture for you or a new space for you, and it will definitely make you move out of your comfort zone, you know. But that's what growth does.
Yeah.
Growth makes us come out of our comfort zone, and that's what also change does. Change grows us to the level where we need to be. Yeah, so I would encourage whoever is watching right now and maybe they are grappling with the thought of, should they accept that contract that is meant to make them move to another town, or should they accept that job, should they apply for that school, you know, go ahead and do it. I mean, God's plan for you are the best. They're not to harm you, they're to make you prosperous, you know, and successful, and God wants the best for you, you know, as long as you're his child. Trust him through the process, and he'll guide you. And I know sometimes also some people have that anxiety or fear of what will happen, the fear of the unknown. You know, you don't know what you're going to face uko mbele. You don't know who you're going to meet, like the friends, like what Lao is saying about friends and what we are sharing about family. You're afraid of, what if I go there and I become lonely, you know, or I don't meet the company that I'm looking for, I don't find a community. Pray about it and ask God to give you a community that is like-minded, has the same moral values that you have, you know. Pray and ask God to give you the right people to work with you, and he's going to do it. Yeah, he's gonna do it.
Amazing. And even as we get to wind up, unasikia Lau ametoka UK, Pastor Linda kona mabeshte wamemove Canada, Zimbabwe, Nigeria. Sasa mimi na sisi watu wa Duberi, thank you so much for being here. It will be uncomfortable. We don't guarantee that it's going to be easy to move, get to adapt some things. However, just break the camp in advance. Nani aliambiwa hivyo? I think ni Abraham. Aliambiwa break the camp in advance. You may not know how to speak to people. You may not know how to live with people other than the people you're fond of. But God will give you the grace and the energy to do that. This is CITAM Church Online, Beyond Church Halls podcast. We get to happen every single Friday. Tunakuaga hapa, tumetulia. By the way, form zetu za Friday ni...
By the Friday mnakuanga hapa?
Friday tunakuaga hapa, form ni hapa.
Naambia wa subscribe.
Kila Friday.
Subscribe.
Tuko pale YouTube, endo subscribe. Let me give you a second to subscribe.
We can wait.
Beep. Hapo, yes, then share, then comment. That's pale chini. Utuambie, have you moved to a certain space? Have you changed your career? Have you moved to a certain country, a certain county? Thank God, country, zote. A certain town. Utuambie pale kwa comment section how you feel about it, how it has been. I know we encouraged you a lot, but also get to encourage us. We're also on Facebook. We're on X as well at CITAM Church Online. Also on Instagram, na TikTok pia. And to follow. This is what?
Beyond
Church Walls Podcast. Yes. Goodbye, guys. See you in the next one.